What if Steve Mnuchin, and you take what he has said at face value, the choice for Treasury Secretary, who could likely be confirmed next week, take him at face value when he says that for the upper income, their rates will come down, but it won't be a net savings for them because their deductions and what they're allowed, they'll go down as well, so that they won't be seeing a tax break per se, a lower tax rate. But the idea being that for them it would be essentially revenue neutral, and it would be not paying more in taxes, not paying less in taxes. That's a lot of the crowd that was in that room, and that's a lot of Wall Street that's running to the races. How do you think it and they would respond to that?
Well, first of all, to be honest, that the individual side and the rate cuts for the individuals didn't come up in the meeting today. You know, they can craft a system however they want.
Right.
So whenever the rate comes out, and they can make the rate a little higher. I mean, the plan that was put together by the administration was a great starting point. The House is a great starting point. You know, they've got to somehow just figure out how the math is going to work. There's one other element, though, that I want to just bring up that I think is important, and you know, it was talked about in the room. I talked about the women in the workplace. This is a huge issue and a tax issue as well. You think about the fact that 40% of families who have kids 18 and under, the primary or sole income earners are women. And you look at the cost of health care today, it's around $10,000 more than a in-state tuition for colleges. Earned income tax credit, incentives to get people back to work so they don't have to make decisions, has to be part of this debate, too. It's not just a big corporate debate. Getting workers back to work is also going to be part of the equation, and that has to be figured into the tax plans.
I know it's a mug's game. When you look at the markets and you look how they've responded since the president's election, they kind of stymied a little bit post his inauguration, but they're back on all cylinders now, largely optimistic that his agenda is focused again on the things they want. Do you ever think they get ahead of themselves, or they are ahead of themselves, or they're just about where they should be?
Yeah, listen, if you're going to ask me for stock advice, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you. I can't predict where the markets are and what it's going to mean. I think right now there's so much energy and there's so much excitement and there's so much optimism about what's coming. Some point you're going to have reality hit that it's really hard to get all this done at the same time. As we talked about just moments ago, priorities matter. And so there will be some disappointment in all likelihood that things aren't getting done as fast as people would hope. What effect that has on the market, call your broker.
Yeah, I hear. But not necessarily my accountant. The goal of this whole thing, I guess, was to make accountants passe. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but as one of the largest in the world at that, I guess that's partly a relief, right?
Well, for us, I mean, we have a lot of responsibilities. Certainly, we take very seriously our role of trying to bring trust and confidence to capital markets with our audits. On the tax side, yes, helping all these new changes are going to have to be complied with. Bottom line is, though, the good news maybe for those who don't think the accountants and the tax people should have this much work, if we have a truly simpler system, if we do away with some of these issues about cross-border income being measured differently, it will clearly make the system simpler for everyone and maybe free us up to do some other great things.
All right. Finally, how do you think the president's doing 2 weeks now as President of the United States?
Well, listen, I wouldn't want anyone to get a 2-week report card because it's really hard. I will say he's raising a lot of issues. He's bringing a lot of things to the forefront. He's got a lot of energy. He's engaged an incredible amount with the business community and different types of constituents. So I love the energy. I love the excitement. I think really now we're going to have to see what gets done, and then we'll give a report card.
All right. Mark Weinberger, thank you for taking the time. I know it's been a crazy day. Mark, of course, the CEO of EY, formerly known as Ernst & Young, hence that little accounting joke.